Feats. Ay, diamonds on my neck, yeah. Diamonds on my neck, yeah. Diamonds on my neck, yeah. Oh, I got diamonds on my neck, yeah. Diamonds on my neck.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Captain Forest here, and today I'm going to be scaling Killer Frost. I'm going to be talking about her rebirth run. So that's pretty much all like the composited other versions of Killer Frost, and pretty much Killer Frost at her best. So I'm gonna go ahead and get right into like all of her feats and all the good stuff and all of her AP. I will have to switch to my like other server as well, because like I forgot to post some more scans in this, but there's just a couple more scans I'll probably go over as well. But attack potency, straight up right off the bat, she easily has like universal plus like AP with her ice. Her ice can hurt and affect the likes of like Cyborg, who can like hurt Shazam. The same Shazam who has like tossed with Superman. Superman is tossed with, you know, like loads of universal plus characters and low multi. And plus Superman also has like a ton of like casual universal plus feats. And by the way, I'm not saying Superman is just only universal plus. I'm just stating like he just has a lot of universal plus feats, just in case someone tries to be witty in the comment section thinking I'm downplaying Superman. But yeah, like as I was saying, just a ton of universal plus feats. Like she's demonstrated that her ice can affect these high tier characters like Freezing Red Tornado, Green Lantern, and like even Power Girl. And also like when she was like amped, when she absorbed like Superman's life force, she created like this area of effect and like negged the complete like Justice League and like the Suicide Squad. So like during the Suicide Squad run, like this was like Killer Frost not at her best, and even not at her best she was still able to like affect Cyborg and hurt him with her ice. And then of course like you've got like Cyborg like freaking slugging at Shazam, blasting him away. So there's like universal plus right there. You got like Shazam like just smacking, like literal just clocking Superman in the jaw and launching him into some rubble. And then like here's like some universal plus feats. I think like this was like Superman when he like survived like a big bang, I believe, when he like basically a universal plus feat right there. And then here's a scan of like Red Tornado getting negged by Killer Frost's ice, and Red Tornado is like tangoed with like Cyborg. And then here's like Power Girl getting frozen momentarily. Now yeah, she did break out of it, but like this just proves that her ice can affect these high beings, high tiers. And she also like froze like one of the Green Lanterns as well, like in ice completely. And she also like completely like negged him. He did break out, but like he was completely frozen. Like it took him a bit of time to kind of get out of it. And then of course like the Justice League feat, where she just negs even the Suicide Squad. Like she negs Cyborg, the Flash, freaking Wonder Woman, and ice, you know, with her ice, and also affects like Aquaman. So universal plus is consistent. For speed, she should have like consistent FTL like stuff. For example, like she was able to like keep up with Black Canary in like one of her like in like hand-to-hand combat. Black Canary is like tagged like Catwoman, and this is the same Catwoman who can like tag like Batman on like on several occasions. And Batman has dodged like light based attacks and lasers. There is also another feat that Black Canary performed. I can't find that scan, but she was able to like tag Wonder Woman within nanoseconds, which is FTL. And keep in mind, this Wonder Woman was holding back, but still, even like a suppressed Wonder Woman got smacked in nanoseconds by Black Canary. So FTL is consistent. There is some like high-end stuff, so you could argue like immeasurable, but I'm not going down that route because it's not very consistent. But anyway, onto her like ice powers. They're very disgusting. That like she's probably like I'd say like the best ice user in my opinion is like Iceman easily, but like she's probably like next to Iceman. Like her ice manipulation is insane. So she can like completely freeze you in place from a distance. She doesn't even have to touch you. So she completely trapped, like, I think his name was like Lord or Max Lord. And of course just her area of effect with ice when she's amped and absorbs someone's energy. She can create nasty blizzards. She completely negged Hawaii, which is like an island, and she like froze it in place. Well, not froze it in place, but like she caused it to snow and nasty blizzard. And obviously snow in Hawaii just is really weird because like Hawaii is like a hot country, I believe, a hot island, and she was able to like freeze it in like minutes. She can like create like basically like ice for like weapons, so she can like create like an ice spear from her arm and just pretty much impale you. And she can create like ice armor too. She can casually make it snow just by walking around, obviously the feat I mentioned prior. She can like freeze the air around you, causing you to suffocate, so she can just freeze like the molecules in the air and like stop you from breathing. She also did this to like, I think his name was Black Beetle. He was struggling to breathe because she was just freezing the air around him. She can also like freeze projectiles, and her ice was, this is impressive, like her ice was so cold, like it was literally negging Black Lightning's lightning attack. And she even says, can your lightning freeze? And she started like freezing his lightning, and he was struggling in a beam fight. If it weren't for like Green Arrow interfering, she would have just negged his lightning, froze it, and froze him. She can create like ice traps, as I mentioned, but like a lot potent. If she gets around you, she can just completely surround you with ice and like ice shards. Her ice can also freeze you on a cellular level, so you will freeze indefinitely and you will die because she negged Terror Smith with her ice. She can create like ice domes for like shield and protection. She has like poison manipulation. She can make her ice toxic. She also goes for like dirty tactics with her ice. She can like freeze your eyeballs. So she like freeze this like alien's eyeballs when they were getting too close. And she can like freeze your mouth as well. And she can also like give you frostbite too. Like, I can't remember what her name was, but she like incapacitated her because she was touching Killer Frost's body, and she like hurt her fingers, like incapacitated. So, and you can make the argument it was like frostbite. The bat was trying to like vaporize her ice, and she just froze its mouth in place. Even like a weakened, heavily nerfed like Killer Frost, like this is when she was like trying to turn over a new leaf and be like a good guy, a good woman. These like prison inmates were bullying her friend, and she basically used all her strength to just freeze them all in place. They got completely negged by her ice. She can summon blizzards to like neg people's projectiles to make them miss. Green Arrow could not get an accurate shot in. He just couldn't. He even says like, bruh, I can't get a hit in. So he had to like resort to doing something else and tagging that lamppost instead. And if you start sweating, she can just freeze the sweat glands and like freeze you in place. That's how she was able to do it to like Afterthought. She can freeze your body via kissing. I'm sorry if it doesn't like load, but like, yeah, she can just kiss you and your body completely just gets frozen. She did this to like Firestorm and completely like froze him in place. And just more showing, she's like froze like a waterfall in place. She can create like ice shields in mid combat for more defense. And then of course she can, for the last thing I want to mention, she can like transmutate. She has like transmutation. So if she touches you with her ice, or if you have ice around you, she can just turn you into icicles. That's what she did to these civilians, which is pretty dangerous. Alright, that's pretty much it for like most of her ice abilities, I think. So I'm gonna go on to like her more potent abilities. She has like like neg and drain anything with heat properties. She can drain life force from like living beings, and she was able to like absorb the heat from Firestorm and almost made him like revert back to normal. And Firestorm is like pretty insane for like one of the DC characters, from like the fire users. Literally drained him almost to the point where he was going to revert back to his original self. So yeah, like fire, like any characters who like use fire-based attacks like completely get negged by Killer Frost. She just absorbs the heat from it, and her ice powers get amped. She was able to like absorb the energy and heat from the sun. Firestorm was like pretty confident that she would absorb the whole thing, and she was just like inside the sun. Like she even says like, "Ooh, like it just feels so good on my skin." So she was just like absorbing the heat from it. So that's pretty impressive. She can also drain like your physical like life energy by absorbing the energy from your body. She can do this from like a meter or so away. She doesn't have to physically touch you like she did to the Justice League. She was just siphoning a little bit of power so she could like neg Eclipso, I believe that's his name, the bad guy. And she can also do it from like a distance too. So she was like draining people's energy and freezing them, so they're like just lifeless corpses. And basically, as I mentioned, if she absorbs heat from like anything that's heat based, her ice powers get worse. Like they get really amped, so it just makes the situation worse for the opponent. And she was able to like absorb the explosion from a like a gas truck, and the heat and the flames from it. And of course, there's like the universal, another thing you can argue is her absorption is like universal plus, because she was able to absorb the energy from Superman, and then she absorbed Cyborg's life force too. And then this is just her showing like this is just what happens to you when she absorbs the heat from you. You're just a lifeless corpse. That's pretty much it for like her heat absorption. So she has like resistance to transmutation and fear hacks. So Terra Smith attempted to like manifest Killer Frost's fears and turn her into a rampaging reptile, and she negged it and bullied him with her ice. And Terra Smith, like if he touches you, he messes with your biology and you just turns you into like this mindless reptile. And this is just her like bullying him and saying, I think that's the scam where she says, "Oh, I'll just freeze you on a cellular level." And that's basically what happens to you if Terra Smith touches you, and it did absolutely nothing to Killer Frost. And that's like those security guards got transmutated to those rampaging dudes. And of course, she can like feel and like sense heat signatures too. Now, there is an argument you can make for her ice. You can argue her ice is conceptual, even though this more or less would be a high end. Now, Superman, he was able to like reflect Darkseid's like Omega beams, and is even stated himself by Darkseid, I think, here, that his Omega beams are termination itself, so it's conceptual, completely eradicates you. There's just no traces of you, no nothing, completely gone if you get touched or negged by those Omega beams. And why I say this is because Superman, his heat vision was like, he was trying to like shoot like a ray of light from his heat vision, and Killer Frost was using her energy to maintain the ice, like the ice crystal, so it didn't get destroyed. So there's a conceptual argument there for her ice. So let's go on to this page real quick. So that's pretty much it for like the her like the conceptual arguments. So I'm just going to talk about some other feats that she has as well, and then I'll pretty much conclude the video. So again, just more AoE effects with her ice. She can also like freeze wounds as well. So if you like bleeding or cut, she can just freeze them. Kronos stole like a week's worth of time from Killer Frost, making her go hungry, and she was still able to like survive. Killer Frosters have like an inherent weakness where if she does not consume heat on a consistent basis, she will basically freeze up. She'll get cold, and then she will be unable to move, and she'll basically just die. And even when like Kronos put her in a silo and stole like weeks of like basically stole like some time off of Killer Frost, making her go like hungry, like just weeks worth of hunger, she was still alive and she didn't die. And just another cool feat as well, like she tanked Black Canary's like Screech, which can harm like Universal Plus characters like Superman. And as you can see, like that's just basically her swapping and being able to like tank the Screech. And like thank you Phoenix as well, screamed off Amazo's head and completely blew up. I think just popped. But yes folks, that's pretty much it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below. I really enjoyed scaling Killer Frost. She's very fun, one of my favorite ice users in DC. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.